gotta get humble and you gotta laugh with yourself also. Being a Bitcoiner is like accepting pain. We kind of like pain because we kind of like proof of work. So if you go to the gym, you go into the gym to feel pain. That's what you're addicted to. You're addicted to that proof of work that will bring on the results that you envision. If you change the incentives, then people will change too. I'm like, wow, are you trying to... Are you guys trying to kill me? Come on.
Bitcoin price is the scoreboard of how bad the fiat system actually does.
In the end, whatever it does, it goes up. I'm always in a journey of squashing my ego. Bitcoin has helped me on that for sure.
I heard, and I've seen it also, that you're doing an X or Twitter space every day since quite a while, right?
Yeah. I think today is it's gonna be the 1112 or 13th day. So it's like more than 3 years. Non-stop every day. Yeah.
Wow, that's really impressive. That's soon 4 years, because at 1,200 days. Oh no, you need more than that. I calculated 300. But yeah, that's a lot of. So every day you did that, and you did it in order to till we hit 100,000. Or what was the plan there?
Yeah. So DSB started as a joke, as a meme. Near the was 2021, we were at around, I think, 60 something, and everyone back then was really ecstatic and really happy, and they were saying stuff like, "Oh, it will take us like a week or a few weeks to go to 100. Like that's nothing." So I was like, "Okay, if that happens," which I thought also, I believed also back then. I was like, okay, why don't I start like a silly space, kind of surreal, where basically I open the space, I play the song by Journey, "Don't Stop Believing," "Hold to That Feeling," 3 times, and that's it. And I do that for as long as we take to reach 100K, thinking it's gonna be like 2 weeks max, right? What I didn't know and what Bitcoin usually do, Bitcoin does that a lot. It does the exact opposite of what we expect it to do. So I started the space 3 days before the actual top, and I had to hold on to my pledge for more than 3 years now, non-stop, weekends. If I was away with no power, if I was even like sick and everything, I kept on doing that space. And obviously, that space changed a little bit after after a while, because I figured out like in the between the songs, I can have commentary. I comment what was happening those days in Twitter and around Bitcoin, obviously with like a funny spin and like a stand-up kind of thing, right?
That's super interesting. It's like starting as a meme, starting as almost like a joke, and thinking like, oh, we will soon hit there. I will do it like a month or something like that. But the big thing for me is you kept going, and I try to do a daily podcast, and I cheat because I pre-record episodes. There's a whole week where I don't record anything because in the previous week I have 2 per day. So it's not cheating, but it's like scheduling in a sense. But doing it actually every day, that's a whole nother level, and doing it live, so like people can actually chime in. So that's some discipline right there. Some proof of work.
That's why I think people loved it. Are loving it still now, because like it's like an example of like something that we Bitcoiners love, like proof of work kind of an example. Like it's like an allegory for holding also through the bear market. and going all those feelings we go through the ups and downs of the market, and how Bitcoin makes us react, I guess. So that's how I feel like, yeah, still going.
How long? I mean, we're recording now because this will probably come out like 1-2 weeks after that. So maybe when people listen to that, it actually already hit the 100K. But how long do you think we're still going with the space?
If I say that, okay, I'll say it, like, because like I can take it. Like I figure out that I can take more than I expected I could. So I guess like 'll say 23rd of December there. Just a
Oh, that
just a random date that a few will understand.
I would love. I think it even tweeted it out when Bitcoin was at, I think, 80K or 85K or something like that. I tweeted out, I would love 100K Bitcoin price at Christmas Eve. So that's kind of like,
Nice.
I would love that, just like as a conversation with the family dinner, because I have also really big family and not everyone is into Bitcoin. So that would be a
Nice.
great conversation for me to have. But yeah, it seems to be actually quite possible that we actually hit the 100K. We were very close already. I think 99.5 or something like that. We were up there.
Yeah, I think in some exchanges it was $200 away from the actual
Wow.
goal. So yeah.
How is I'm really into that like whole discipline and proof work thing right now, and we move on to other topics. But it's really interesting. How is that feeling when we are now so close? Because for the past 3 years, most of the time we were a good distance from 100K away, like 20, 30, 40, sometimes even almost we were down at like 16K. So that is a long way to 100K.
Yeah.
So how does it now feel to be so freaking close to the 100K?
Oh, I'm making at least like once a day. I'm making a meme about stop jinxing it to everyone. Like, well, could you please stop saying like, oh, 100K easy by the end of the day? Like, come on, would you please stop saying that? So I'm like very cautious in those areas, because like I know how Bitcoin, as I said before, can do exactly the opposite thing you're expecting to do.
I'm guilty of that meme. I think I tweeted it out 3 times last week.
It's humane. I understand why people do it, but like when you have something extra, like me, on the line, you're like, guys, calm down, let's get there and then we'll party.
For the themes of the spaces, I'm curious. So you the first it was just like you wanted to play just 3 times that song, and then you started commenting on things. So are you now at the stage where you actually prepare for things, or you just go in
Nah.
there and talk your mind?
Nah, I don't prepare. I don't prepare. The only preparation is that I watch and I listen to a lot of music. I listen to a lot of music. I watch to a lot of pop culture, like TV series and movies. So whenever I have a good idea of a good rant, let's say that's something I want to say and inspire people or hype people up just a little bit, especially in the bear market, I will get like an idea from here and there, and I will make it work somehow on the spot for, yeah. I haven't prepared, I think, anything. Only as it is, everything is on the fly, yeah.
What were some of your highlights over the years? Probably like there's some moments where people join and then you talk about interesting things. I mean, there are a lot of episodes, a lot of spaces for you to choose now, over 1,000. When
Yeah.
people ask me about that, the same thing with just 300 episodes, I'm completely overwhelmed because there's so many. But do you remember any highlights that stand out?
Oh yeah, yeah. Like especially when we were in the bear market, I think it was the most funny and fun spaces we had, because like I don't know, the bear market is way better for the memes for some reason, and acknowledging that you gotta get humble and you gotta laugh with yourself also with your choices. So for that reason, I feel like it's way funnier. And I had like a few, yeah, spaces that I can think about. Like obviously, I did some spaces, a series of spaces where we're doing meditation. I was putting like background, very chill, like guitar music playing, and I was like pretending to be like a yoga guy saying breathe in, breathe out, hold on to your stack, stuff like that. So those were funny. And obviously, at some point, I got tired of it. I got tired of not going more down and not more going more, not pumping at around 20K. And I said, okay, fuck it. 23rd of December is gonna be the prophecy day. It's like a new meme that happened right there and there. That basically I said from the 23rd of December we start pumping. Like the bear market is over. And for 2 weeks I was preaching that. People were calling me the prophet and all that. It was funny because I was just a week off. And like after a week, we actually started bouncing from 17K and starting rising. And so I called the bottom somehow. And the prophecy spaces were also funny. And I've done others, like I was pretending to be Batman on the shadows of the bear market, watching, stacking slowly, taking my vengeance. Like there's a bunch of silly stuff I did on the on the spaces because we're talking about a lot of spaces every day for 3 more years.
Did you record those
Yeah,
spaces?
they're all recorded. Yeah,
So
and
you
shout out
can.
and shout out to Seth, a crazy one, a DSBer that actually found a way to download all those spaces, and we're gonna put them somewhere in a in a site with transcript so you can search them. You know,
I think that would be great. Yeah, I think
yeah,
those because there's a
just
lot
for the
of
history.
content.
Yeah,
It's probably also maybe valuable things in there, maybe some history in there. The prophecy is in there with the 23rd. Really interesting.
yeah,
how how has it been it's really interesting for me the difference between the bull and the bear market. Bear market I personally like more. It's a little calmer, a little bit more signal, little bit more like, oh yeah, like you can actually work. And in the bull market, even I usually never looked at the price till like October, September this year. And then it
yeah.
like started rising again. And now I really have to like, oh, not look at the price too much, because I'm like, yeah, okay, we at 97 now, 96 now, at 98. So like, it really it's almost
Oh yeah.
addictive to look at the price. How do you look at like the bull market versus bear market times?
Well, in the bear market, it's like whoever is left in the bear market for me is like me. What I mean is like similar ideology. We believe in something, and it's not like the guys that show up on the bull market that don't believe on Bitcoin, but they are more focused on the price, which I understand it has its importance for sure. I'm not like playing down the price for sure. The price going up plays a lot of an important reason why this thing is successful, right? So yeah, but like in the bull market, for some reason, like the idiots come back or join, and we become idiots for some reason. As you said, like we don't do anything productive, not even in our fiat jobs, and we keep on staring at the price. Like we become like it's really addictive, as you said. So yeah, that's why I prefer like the bear market. It's more honest.
It's less distractions, less noisy. There's so many distractions coming out with the bull market. I also like, I never heard about lending and borrowing against your Bitcoin, and now all of a sudden bull market starts, like all those things coming back again. It's really interesting for me how this really behaves. I mean, It's not my first bull market. I went through the 2021 one, but I really loved 2022 and 2023, even though they were also good years, especially also 2023. But this year, there's so much happening. Also with the presidential election, I feel like politics is too much into Bitcoin. I talk too
Yeah,
much about politics on the podcast.
yeah, yeah. Politics and in general, the normie world has creeped in on Bitcoin for sure. More, I understand. But closing the subject of the bear market, I feel also like for me, being a Bitcoiner is like accepting pain. We kind of like pain because we kind of like proof of work. So if you go to the gym, you go into the gym to feel pain, basically. That's what you're addicted to, right? You're addicted to that proof of work that will bring on the results that you yeah, that you envision, right? But let's not like dress it. Let's not like present it otherwise than it is. It is pain in the end. That thing is pain. That is a sacrifice, and we are kind of addicted to that too, right? So I don't know. I like the feeling of Bitcoin dropping, the newbies or whoever doesn't understand that kind of mentality panicking, and we are laughing about it. We are laughing about it because we know at some point it's going to pump again. And we are laughing about it because now we have the other opportunity to stack even more. So it's like, I don't know.
Uh,
Well,
it's do you think that proof of work mentality might be something that becomes mainstream if Bitcoin becomes mainstream? Does that come from that incentive structure of having sound money?
yeah, the key word that you said is the incentives. If they set incentives like chains in the most platforms out there that exist to be structured around incentives that if you do the proof of work you're gonna get rewarded, yes, then yes, people more will switch that mentality towards ours, let's say. But until then, if the incentives are keep on being like now, you can pretty much do nothing, be non-productive, and you get rewarded. Why people change? Why would people change? Like, there's no point for them, you know. So
So we have to get rid of the fiat system in order to get to productive society.
you gotta you gotta change the incentives on any platform, on any structure. If you change the incentives, then people will change too. I feel.
It's super interesting for me the proof of work aspect of Bitcoin. How did Bitcoin change you? Were you disciplined before that? And could you keep up such a space before that?
It's a good question. Um, yeah, I was disciplined except one thing: food. No, in general, I am a disciplined. I feel like I'm kind of. I have. I used to do like athletics and all that. Like I used to swim and all that. Like so, I know the word of being like you have to wake up 6 o'clock in the morning and go train and go to the school and all that. So I was doing that until my 20s. In general, most of my life, I can say I am disciplined. I could have been more. And yeah, that's how I changed though, but like that Bitcoin. How I changed, that's a difficult question. How I changed.
I mean, maybe you haven't changed that much.
No, I have because I can sense that I have a change of how others close to me react to me, like in contrast to the older days, right? Their reaction around me it's not the same. So something definitely has changed. I cannot pinpoint exactly what. Maybe it's my attitude. Maybe it's I'm more focused at some points of what I want to do with my life. Maybe it's the ability, have a better ability now to differentiate the bullshit than the real. Maybe it's that Bitcoin gave me that perspective.
Yeah, it's also interesting for me why we change. It's obviously big, because so many people don't get it that if they are outside of the Bitcoin bubble, and it's like a very small minority group still, like we're a very selected group of people, very, very, very small, especially those who actually get it and not just like have it in some portfolio or have some capacity in Bitcoin, but like actually do the deep work, have like hundreds of hours of research in there. So like a very small group, and they actually usually change to a certain degree. There are obviously people that maybe already got the mindset and then got early into Bitcoin and it was just a fit for them. Maybe there are existing those kind of people. I don't know. But most people that I met actually, and I asked that question a lot because I'm really curious on that, they changed. That's why it always makes me curious. Okay, we have now this amazing money that's only used by a very small amount, very small group of people, and that small group of people experience something very beautiful where their life changes. What if that actually happens for the whole world? Like, well, how does that Bitcoin world look like? Obviously, it's a long way there. Obviously, we have to be long time patient in order to seeing that, as your example with the 100K even shows, because for me it's like the 100K and the Bitcoin US dollar price is kind of scoreboard of how bad the fiat system actually does. So it's really will be interesting how to see the new world in Bitcoin, the as the Web would say, the new world order.
Yeah, as Zizi would say, like there's different kind of like Bitcoins, right? There's the network, there's the social layer, there's the your hardware wallet, there's the running your node. Like there's different kind of Bitcoins out there that in some make what we call Bitcoin, right? And if we'll take like two examples of a Bitcoiner, just like, I don't know, buying Bitcoin 5 years old, five years ago, right? He buys, let's say, Bitcoin 5 years ago, and he just like forgets about it. Never gets him involved in the culture, the a little bit of podcast, a little bit of the books, opening his mind, like that kind of like interaction with other Bitcoiners, let's say, and he just like joins again after Bitcoin has pumped. We cannot say that Bitcoin changed that guy. It didn't do shit to him or her, right? So you have to get yourself involved with a lot of aspects of what Bitcoin is, and especially talk with other Bitcoiners. I feel it's the most important in order to experience that change.
So it's the cultural layer, the research layer, the deeper going layer, where you actually the social layers of Bitcoin that actually might change you, and less the just, oh, I got more money now.
It's the structure of the same of the network and the incentives that the network puts that feeds those kind of ideas that a few smart Bitcoin understand and propagate, and others understand by interacting with those Bitcoiners. I feel like it's like a beautiful tree. It's a beautiful tree that you have to see it in its whole and not just focus on the apple. You know, it's a whole ecosystem that that changes you, I feel.
Absolutely, and most just focus on that one small top on top of
Yeah,
the tree, which is the price,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that has
which
its importance, but it's not everything.
What is, before we get a little bit to the price, because I want to talk about the importance of the 100K also, but what is for you the most important aspect of Bitcoin if you have to put a point at one?
The incentives, like again, the idea that in order to have something and make something, you have to put the work. I think that's the most important thing that I have gotten out of this. In order to build anything of value and grows anything, it needs work. That's it. Nothing is given to you. Nothing is for free.
Did you in the beginning also come for the price
Oh yeah,
of Bitcoin?
oh yeah. I came for the price also in a big percentage for the price. Yes, even though I was like ideologically a little bit with what Bitcoin represented, and I learned through those kind of forums. Let's say in the end, I was inside the austerity years here in Greece, and I was like, I have to make something. I have to risk more and get some money somehow and lift myself, because I didn't want to leave Greece as many of my family and friends were doing back then to find work somewhere else. So I was like, okay, Bitcoin, what is this? So yeah, a big percentage was price, and that's good. That's the cheese Bitcoin presents to all the newbies to get them inside, to entice them. And if you stick around a little bit more, you understand, oh, yeah, okay, NZU technology is important. I get it. But there's so many more things around this thing that have value, right?
And there are many people that don't fall down this rabbit hole. I feel like there are people that just like come and they see Bitcoin for a price, they put it in their portfolio, and that's the end of their rabbit hole journey. What made you go a step deeper? What made you go like from it's interesting that the price and it's a good technology, I want to benefit from that? What made you discover the revolution behind Bitcoin?
All my mistakes I did in the journey. Thank God I wasn't that successful. Like I didn't buy 10,000 coins somewhere and forgot about them, and then like I'm a multimillionaire. So I thought I was more clever, and I did every mistake there is out there. I trusted Mount Gox with my coins. I I mined Feather Coin because I thought mining Bitcoin back then with graphic cards was too expensive. So I tried trading. I went to the seed coins in 2017. I did all the mistakes in order not have in order for me to wanting more. Let's say I was losing just enough in order for me to stay in another cycle, right? So that made me going another cycle and learning more, and at some point I was like, oh, okay, there's more to this. I get it now.
I partnered up with Coin Vigilante. This is the most beautiful Bitcoin timepiece that I ever saw created by anyone. Look at that beauty. I love it so much. Coin Vigilante made a perfect Bitcoin watch. That's the perfect, subtle, elegant way to go out there and show that you are a Bitcoiner. And that watch brand is Bitcoin only. And Coin Vigilante just dropped a completely new and amazing Genesis edition of their watch collections. You have the date of the first ever mined Bitcoin block in there, and of course also the block height and which epoch we are currently in. I love the level of detail they put in this masterpiece, and make sure to check out those amazing Coin Vigilante timepieces down in the descriptions. I love those watches so much. If you watch or listen to my podcast on a regular basis, I guess you already bought some Bitcoin. And now the most important step is to keep their Bitcoin. Keep them secure in a hardware wallet. My personal recommendation for hardware wallet is the BitBox. It's super secure. It's simple to set up. It's also a perfect gift for a friend who has still their Bitcoin on an exchange. And you can get a 5% discount with the code Robin at the checkout. Visit bitbox.swiss/Robin to get your BitBox. And the next step is to really level up your sovereignty as an individual. You have to have the most secure self-custody setup. You have to secure your own devices. You have to protect your privacy. You have to set up an inheritance plan. And depending on where you live, you even want to have a plan B, a citizenship where you can move in case something goes really, really wrong. And through all those steps, the Bitcoin way is guiding you through step by step. And if you visit thebitcoinway.com/partners/Robin, you even get a 30-minute free call to find out how you can level up your sovereignty. Do you get the Mt. Gox coins back? I heard, I think, a few months back that they're starting to pay back.
Yeah, I got like 50%, something like that, 16, 70%.
Not bad at all, actually. Yeah, really cool. You were also there then in the Bitcoin Cash time, so you fell 2017 for shitcoins. How did you live through the block size wars?
Trying to figure out more. Those years were years that I spent more in the technicalities of how actually it works and what it is to be decentralized. So basically, I also didn't like the way Roger Ver and those companies reacted back then, trying to control the chain through closed doors. So those kind of like ideas pushed me to say, okay, the guys that are saying for the guys that selling hats have a point. Like shout out to Samson Mao. Yeah, this thing shouldn't be run by mega corporations with like huge data centers. Like that can happen too. You can mine Bitcoin like that too. But if someone wants to mine with his, let's say, BitX right now at his house, or running an old ASIC miner just to heat up his apartment, he can also do that too. So I feel like those years were the years of understanding what decentralization is.
For maybe if there's some newer guy girl in here, what does make Bitcoin decentralized? I actually got that question yesterday from my girlfriend because she understands that it's decentralized, nobody can manipulate it. She's like, oh, but how is it even decentralized? Why can it nobody compute it? What is the most important aspect here?
Well, geographical decentralization first. Not everything being in a specific country. Geographical decentralization is one. The other thing is easy of running a mining like a machine, like an ASIC miner, right? If you have like bigger blocks, you need more expensive equipment, and if you up the megabytes on that chain, let's say Bitcoin Cash as they do, or BSV, that equipment becomes more and more expensive. So it means like less and less people are mining, small miners, right? So that's another aspect of being decentralized, like more people independently mining, right? That's the format with decentralization. And the main thing that now we are trying to solve is the mining pools. Like if we can like find a way to decentralize the mining pools also without restricting some aspects of it, that goes that will help a lot to what is truly decentralized. There is, like being decentralized, it's not like you are and you aren't. It's always like an effort that you have to improve on it. You know, uh, I feel like Bitcoin is the most decentralized out of all the other projects out there. It doesn't mean that Bitcoin cannot be more decentralized. For sure, it can.
It's not a switch that you can just either you centralized or
No, no, no.
decentralized. It's like a progress. It's with security in general. Like
Yeah,
security, there is no 100% secure system. There's just like a very secure system, but it always has trade offs in there. So I think that's a good insight. How concerned are you with the mining pool centralization? Because there's like I don't know, a few big ones and they control most of the network.
well, it's a big discussion. I'm not that concerned because if if they wanted to do something worse, they could have done it already. Like for years now, we have those kind of more centralized mining pools, right? If they wanted to do something worse, they could have done it already. So yes, there's some shenanigans in there with the rewards for sure, and that's why some very smart people are trying to fix how the rewards are redistributed, right? And they should be redistributed more fairly. And if that being succeed, it's gonna be um, it's gonna be a big win for sure for the decentralization of the network. But that doesn't mean that even now I'm like concerned about it. You know, I don't think Bitcoin for now has something being to be concerned when it comes to the code. It has to a very big change must happen. Yeah. I should be concerned. Yeah. Of course, there's a bunch of IPs that now have been pushed that there's a lot of a lot of discussions around them, like the covenants and all that. I'm in favor of the covenants in general. Like I feel like even OPCAT at some point they have like a um, they have some basis that it could help. It seems like OPCAT in Bitcoin Cash, like it's not like something that it works like in it's not doing anything bad to the chain. So it's been tested somehow at some point. So I'm in favor in general of doing upgrades to the network. I'm not one of those guys that I'm afraid to upgrade the network, you know. But of course, I'm in favor of caution and checking the code and discussing it a lot and fighting fighting on Twitter about it.
I mean that makes it valuable, right? Like
Yeah,
you don't want to make if you trust your entire financial energy to this technology, you don't want to let it change overnight or like change it every second week, because Bitcoin is that amazing technology where you can actually put it somewhere and you don't have to follow the news like with a stock or something like that. That's the whole purpose of that. But we still have to get to the point where we have to upgrade it. I think if we stop upgrading Bitcoin right now and nobody's developing anything, the likelihood that it fails is quite high, I think.
yeah. It's gonna become like the current banking system. I don't know if you know this, but like the current banking system, it's run by machines made in 1970s that like 10 people actually know how to program them. Like it's this is true. Like the whole system is run like in 1970s machines. So yeah, I don't want to see something similar with Bitcoin. Of course, if you're gonna experiment a lot with Bitcoin, I'm in the favor of doing it on top of it, not in the base layer. But that doesn't mean you don't have to improve the base layer somehow. Very simply, once in a while, you know.
There are simple, small bugs to fix. There's things to clean up. So, not even changing things. Like we're not talking about changing the block size or something like
Yeah,
bigger like that. It's just like improving, maintaining the code basically, because we know how much technology changes in like 10, 20 years only. We kind of have to keep Bitcoin up to date. But that's beauty of it, right? Everyone can do that, and there's a lot of vested interest from a lot of different parties to actually do that, because everyone is aware of. But one thing that I thought about when you were saying, yeah, like, of course it has its flaws. Of course it has not 100% decentralized. No, nothing is. It's like once you think about that, for me, it's always. But even if there would be a flaw, like what would I sell it for? Like what else would I bet on? Like it's the best horse in the whole house. So it's not like there's like a second Bitcoin that is really good and really decentralized and really a competitor. And I always laugh a little bit when there's comments saying, "Oh, but there will come competition, or there is competition to Bitcoin." I'm like, I'm not seeing anything. So
yeah,
I literally would not know what I would buy with my Bitcoin today if Bitcoin were to fail. I really would have a hard time finding out, like, oh, well, what the heck do I do with my money now?
yeah, yeah. I don't feel like even shitcoiners, like even people that are like giving their value and their money to other projects are gonna say anymore. Maybe the serious ones, like some silly ones, might try and say that, but like I don't feel like even those guys are saying that their project is more decentralized than Bitcoin. Nothing is more decentralized than Bitcoin. And again, that doesn't mean that Bitcoin can be more decentralized. It can, but I don't feel like there's a project out there that compares. Here, you know.
100%. Yeah. One thing that I kind of forgot to ask you before, and I really want to get it in there. What will you do actually once we hit the 100K? Like, are you throwing a 24-hour live stream in there or something, something crazy like that?
Oh, I gotta do it 24 hours also. I don't know.
I would love that. Like once it hits the 100K, you're doing a 24-hour space.
I'll when 100K happens, whenever God willing, I'll open the last one, and in the last space, I'm gonna play the three songs again as I do. I'm gonna rant in the between as I do, and in the end of the third song, I will finally give out the mics. I will give out the mics to the DSBers and the Bitcoiners that I have like 50, 100 of those guys that really joined like the majority of the spaces that I know. We have formed like a little group that is special to me. And I will finally give them the mics, and we're going to have fun. Maybe others will join, and uh, I don't know. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna have fun, and I even did this live. Like we did the having party in El Salvador with the Meme Factory, and I did those spaces. I did it live on stage, and I saw those people that were joining every day through the bear market live down there dancing their ass off, and we were like having a blast. Like so, this thing has grew bigger than me for some reason, and yeah, the last space, I don't know if it's gonna be 24-hour space, but definitely it's gonna be a big one.
What do you mean with giving up the mic? You're starting a new show, or like
No, no,
what?
until now I haven't given the mic at all. It's just
Oh,
me.
so it's till now it's just you talking, and
It's
now
just
so
me. The
um,
songer is playing. I might play some audio funny things like Sailor talking or something over it, like memeing over with the audio, and it's just me ranting basically and saying my opinions in a very angry yellow way. That's it. So in the final one, I have promised to, especially to Barry, to give out after the three songs is played, to give out the mics and get those guys up so they can able to talk finally. Until now, they've been talking to me with writing underneath the space tweet.
That's also a form of communication, I guess. But that's great. So I would love for you to see the some sort of show out of that. Like maybe you can put like the 10, 20 people from there out, and maybe you can even do it in some sort of video format. I mean, with avatars,
Yeah, why not?
it's
Yeah.
fine. Would be cool to see a new show, because now you did that one show from what was it, 17K, 16K to now 100K. Maybe you need a different show now from 100K to 1 million, that you keep going
No.
till a million.
Yeah, someone suggested that, and he said you should start another space from 100 to a million and play the same song but 6 times. I'm like, well, are you trying to? Are you guys trying to kill me? Come on.
How long do you think? I mean, it's everyone's guess, and obviously you don't know. But what would you guess? How long would that space go from 100K to a million?
That's a good question. I would say 2 cycles more. Like I would say like 8 years, 7 years.
That's quite a lot. It's like till 2030, 2032, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. 2030, 2031. I don't feel
Yeah.
like I'm not one of those guys that are saying like right now after we break 100K we're gonna go near 1 million. I don't believe that.
It would also not be that good, actually. I think it's
Too much.
it could be negative overall for the world if Bitcoin reaches the million in 2025.
Yeah.
For me, as I said before, Bitcoin price is kind of the scoreboard of how bad the fiat system actually does. And this means if we hit a million, that's a huge amount of financial energy that flock into Bitcoin. That's not some ETFs buying. That's like a good amount of FOMO to go from now to 10x from here in like a year. That could mean that we have a serious economic crisis going on. Yeah, it's. I don't wish that for the world in 2025.
Yeah. Also I don't think that it's good for the adoption in general because like if we're gonna have something similar that happened to 2017 with the parabola breaking everything basically, like that thing destroyed a lot of people. A lot of people like got destroyed by that pump, that big pump we had back then. Yes, some of them became maximalist, and I understood, took the message that everything is vaporware other than Bitcoin, but most of them closed whatever crypto account they had, and for them, it's all a scam. Like, they became like haters basically. They became Peter Schiff. They went to gold or something. So,
It,
yeah.
it's crazy to see, yeah, because I'm just now seeing. Wait, I can share that because it might be interesting to compare that. And obviously, 2016 to 17 is now different till 2024 and 2025. Is that the right screen? Yes, share. I just pull it up and you see it. If we go here, now we are in November. So that would be the date. And then like end of 2017, that are 2,500%. That's I think a 26x if I know my math now
Yeah.
correct. That might be wrong, but yeah, I think around that time. If that happens, that would be similar to us hitting what, the 2.6 million end of next year. So I mean, it's first of all, I think it's interesting to see that it's not completely out of the realm. It's possible, but at the same time, I don't wish that, because in 2017 the numbers were that much lower overall with the market cap, so it means less than it does mean now, and yeah.
Yeah.
But 2025, I think 100% will be interesting. No matter what happens, it could be very directional, and telling year, how the future is going, and how Bitcoin is going, and how the fiat currencies are going. I think 2025 would be interesting. So I definitely hope I can see a show between like you and maybe 10, 20, maybe even 50 other people that join every day. I would love to see that. By the way, we are now back at 95, so we're
Oh, nice.
almost over 4K away again from the 100K.
Yeah, it's okay. Like 100K is like, it's not like only psychological. Like, I feel like at 100K, there is a change of guards happening. The guards are changing up. Like, some of the OGs want in some percentage to get out, and new OGs, especially through ETFs and Sailor, wants to get in and become the guard, right? So we have a change of of an epoch, basically, from the old OG background to the new whales coming in and taking over little bit a bigger percentage of what they had. So I feel like that is happening around 100K, and I really don't know what will happen after 100K. After 100K, we might pump like 50K like nothing. But I don't feel like after that we're gonna reach like 600K or 1 million, as some say. I don't know. At some point, that's gonna end the crazy pump, right? And it usually ends very quickly as it started.
I'm already looking forward to the next bear market, and
Oh yeah.
having the calmness to build up for the next bull market, and see what's possible. I think the meme of like bear market are for builders, that's a real thing, and I'm really looking forward to that, because I never really built anything in Bitcoin in the bear market, because I kind of joined just like this last year, in it with the podcast and everything. So I kind of get to know Bitcoin now. And you touched on it a little bit. This was kind of a next question for you. What the meaning of Bitcoin reaching that 100K actually is, like what what that means, because we were already so close to it. It doesn't mean a lot financially. Like we already like does not. Your life doesn't change if Bitcoin is at like 99K or at 105,
Yeah.
probably. So what is the cultural and the impact of that 100K? Is it something similar than we had with like crossing that $1 or $10 $100 mark in the early days? Is it a profound thing for you?
Um, to be honest, I'm only excited about the 100K just for my thing, the DSB. Other than that, I'm not that excited. To be honest, like I said it before that price wise, I don't feel that ecstatic. Let's say the hopium they say you feel, right. So that's why it makes me wonder that this thing is just getting started right now. It's not We're not like near the end of some doomsayer say. Having said that, Bitcoin does the exact opposite. So having said that, in 2 weeks that this thing is gonna play, we're back in 70s or something. It's gonna be extremely funny. But you know what? Like, I have accepted the shenanigans that Bitcoin does in price. So I have completely accepted it. Whatever happens, like, I will meme around it and I'm going to laugh about it, you know? Because in the end, whatever it does, it goes up.
I love it so much. It's and I also thought about, we are now saying no, it will not go to a million. No, it would be bad. Maybe end of 2025, and we had like 5 million, and then we look back at the space and like, oh, we completely misunderestimated
Oh,
it.
yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
that's the beauty of Bitcoin, man.
absolutely, but it's such an amazing space to be in, and it holds you accountable. Like we say it on the podcast, and I'm 100% sure people will hold us accountable. In 1 year, I will hold myself accountable. I'm already I made a video on a German channel in 2020 explaining Bitcoin, and I did not look at that video since 2020. And I'm planning on like AI translating it and reacting to it. And I'm really curious what I said about that in 2020. So that's a big motive also for me to make content, because I want to see how accurate I am or how not accurate I am, and being publicly accountable for that. I think it's a fun thing to do, definitely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
As long as we're being honest, there's no problem for me, Like, we're just like trying to figure out, like everyone else, trying to figure out and trying to project where this thing is gonna go or not, And as long as you're being humble about it, as Odell says, and acknowledge that in the end, Bitcoin will do what Bitcoin wants to do. Yeah, then you're good.
Stack stats and stay humble. I love that meme from Matt Odell. It's really,
Yeah.
really good. Perfect. Before we come to our end routine, I also was recently in El Salvador. You mentioned that you were there before the halving party. How do you like the developments down there? And how is El Salvador for you?
Oh, it was amazing. I spent like a month there. I pretty much went around all over. Berlin, El Zonte, the coastlines, the lake, Lake Iticambo, Liticambo, something like that. San Salvador. I love El Salvador. Um, if you're willing to do the trip, because for me it was a long trip, 21 hours. Yeah, if you're gonna do that, you have to spend at least like a month and go around. I still didn't go south, where I saw good thing also, like near the coast, south to Guatemala. It's an amazing place, very friendly people, very safe, with a lot of construction going on. Everywhere you walk, in the corner, something is being built. And like, the construction is going crazy. It reminds me of Greece back in the 90s, where everything was like building like as crazy in their houses, or something around tourism. And also, I also liked that there's something for everyone. Like, if you want to go to the more luxurious, let's say, hotels that exist down the shore of El Zonte and El Tuco, but if you want to find something more cheap, you can also find that, like, whatever you want, right? And yeah, the food is great, the people are great. Yeah, there's a there's a lot of heat around the coast. Other than that, if you like up just a little bit up in the mountains, or even like in the capital, the weather is way better.
I like the San Salvador weather a lot. Yeah, El Sonte is a little bit too humid
Yeah,
for
yeah,
me.
yeah. And so I remember I was getting out of my shout out to Carlos in the beach. Um, El Zonte. So I was going out from my room and I was starting like sweating right away. Like after two steps, I was sweating, and I was like, ah, okay, this is like kind of annoying. But after a while, I feel like you get used to that, even that. Uh, but for sure, the weather up in San Salvador, and I got an Airbnb in the lake next to it, the Lake Iticambo. I don't remember exactly the name. So the weather there was perfect. So it was way cooler. It was up in the mountains, and yeah, it was one of the best days I spent in El Salvador with friends.
I think I know which lake you mean. Let me quickly share the screen. I was also
To the
there.
right, to the right.
Yeah, and it was beautiful there. Is that the lake?
Yeah, Ilopango. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's a beautiful one. I really liked it also, and it's
It's a
as
crater.
El Salvador kind of has everything. Like you have lakes, volcanoes, you have mountains, you have the beach, you have perfect weather, you have the humid weather, you have the more mountain warm weather. You don't have snow, as far as I know,
Yeah, yeah.
but it's really I like it a lot.
Lake Ilopango is actually a crater of a volcano. It became a lake.
Oh, I
So
didn't knew that.
that's why like it has mountains very close to the coast, right? And it encircles it. It's really weird and beautiful.
It's I didn't knew that. Thank you so much. That's nice. Yeah, perfect. Then I have one question that each and every one of my guests gets. What can we learn from you besides Bitcoin?
Have a laugh. If you're gonna do the Bitcoin thing, at least do it at some point. Like laugh with Bitcoin, laugh with yourself, laugh with Bitcoiners. Like it's not. It's the journey is way better by having a little fun also. You know.
I 100% agree. And I'm already looking forward to the end routine. We have an end routine in the podcast where the previous guest is asking a question for the next guest without knowing who the next guest is. Usually it's like a Bitcoin related question, but it's today a self-development question. What's one behavior you currently working on eliminating from your life to become a better person?
That's good. I'm always in a journey of like squashing my ego. I have an ego problem. I know it, and I'm kind of controlling it way better these days. These years, late years, Bitcoin has helped me on that for sure. But it's like a struggle for sure, controlling my ego.
Absolutely, yeah, really cool. It's something that also the Bitcoin does with you, right? The ego death, the controlling your ego. That is something that Bitcoin definitely does for you. Thank you so much, Yellow, for
Thank you for
being on
having
the
me.
show. Before I let you go, where can people find you? I usually ask, and it's on Twitter, I guess, the best place.
Yeah, Twitter. I see offended I, and I have a channel on YouTube and also that I upload all my memes and stuff. So, but mostly on Twitter, you're gonna find me. Yeah.
Perfect. I will link your Twitter in the description so people can directly check it out. Thank you so much, Yellow, for being on the show. Also, thank you so much for everyone that is watching and listening for joining us today. As always, I'll be back tomorrow with another episode. Bye bye.